support for Ukraine and security for, I think, not only for Ukraine, it's important for all the Europe. So thank you that you hosted me and invited me.
Well, with me now, Sky's political correspondent, Tamara Cohen. Tamara, this is all about the weapons.
It certainly is, Ian. President Zelensky has been on a tour of European capitals this weekend ahead of a much anticipated counter-offensive by the Ukrainians. And although the UK had already just announced only last week that we would be sending Storm Shadow long-range missiles to Ukraine in the light of Russia's attacks on infrastructure, energy infrastructure, hospitals, he's back today. And there's the hug with Rishi Sunak. The Prime Minister just says, welcome back, President Zelensky, and he touched down at Chequers in the helicopter in the last hour, got a warm welcome from the Prime Minister, and there they are in one of the state rooms, and Rishi Sunak explaining that Winston Churchill had a lot of his meetings there during the Second World War. Now this meeting does come with an announcement. So we just announced the Storm Shadows last week, and today the Prime Minister will confirm hundreds more air defence missiles and further unmanned aerial systems, including long-range attack drones with a range of 200 kilometres. And he'll say that all this will help Ukraine intensify its resistance to the ongoing Russian invasion. We know that the UK is also training thousands of Ukrainian troops here in the UK. President Zelensky visited them on his last visit in February, and there are now, we're told, 15,000 of them being trained here. So it's a visit that comes with an announcement about more weaponry, but President Zelensky has said that this is a tour focused on combat aircraft, and his battle for that continues. We know the UK said earlier this year that giving them our fighter jets, F-35s, was fraught with difficulty because they need years of training. We have facilitated neighbouring countries giving Ukraine some Soviet-era aircraft, but President Zelensky will want that to be stepped up if, as all the analysts say, he is to make any decisive progress in the war.
Thanks, Tamara. Well, if you click on the QR code on the screen right now, that will take you to our live blog where you can follow all the latest on President Zelensky's visit, and we will, of course, be bringing you updates throughout the morning here on Sky News. Now, a lack of government support and an inadequate public charging network is stopping hauliers from investing in electric vehicle technology. That's a warning from Logistics UK, the trade body that represents the freight industry. It says that if the logistics sector is to decarbonise effectively in line with the government's 2050 net zero target, more support will be needed. Well, joining me now is Michelle Gardner. She's Deputy Director of Policy at Logistics UK. Michelle, welcome to you. What extent is the UK's van fleet currently electrified?
Good morning, Ian. Thank you for having me. So Logistics UK has just published our electric vehicle report, where we interviewed 32 of our members to find out what's happening with electric vehicles. And what they told us was 58% of them had switched some of their fleet to electric vans in the past 2 years. So we are seeing a good uptake of electric vans, but the reality is 0.9% of the total vehicle fleet is electric. So we still obviously have a substantial way to go.
Crikey. I mean, what does it typically cost an operator to switch their fleet to all electric?
Well, it's significantly more expensive than diesel equivalent. So you've got the higher cost of the vehicle itself. Then you've also got to pay for charging. So at a depot, you will need to put in charging. You also need to maintain the vehicles. Plus, the big cost for operators is also power supply. So if you're charging lots of vehicles, often at depots, you will need to increase the power supply. And that can cost anywhere between £100,000 up to £1 million. So a substantial investment for operators.
We had Biffa on the programme recently, the waste management company. I mean, they're converting their existing diesel fleet to electric rather than buying new. Is that an approach many will take?
Yes, I think we're going to see different approaches. So either as a way to transition. So one thing we're talking to government about is low carbon fuels, because they can drop into vehicles and actually help to decarbonise up to 80% of the vehicle fleet now, as well as adjustments to vehicles already on the roads to help operators switch, because some vehicles are particularly challenging. Use cases such as in rural areas or where there's not access to charging. So we need to think about different solutions in the transition to net zero.
Now, you're calling for government support. What sort of sums are you after?
It's not necessarily about sums, it's about thinking about what support can help the sector transition more rapidly. So capital allowances for tax allowances for capital investments could help with that power supply challenges and also with the investment into equipment. We also need longer term certainty on grants so that when business cases are being planned, they know that those grants for vehicles will still exist in the years to come. But also it's about that fair and equitable solution for power supplies at depots. That is a real challenge if you're talking up to £1 million for vehicle operators.
I mean, some might say, hang on, 2050 is 27 years away. Why the rush?
Well, I know 2050 sounds like a long way away, but the first phase out date for diesel vans is actually 2030, so about one vehicle life cycle away, and then 2035 for HGVs below 26 tonnes and 2040 for the largest HGVs.
Do you think these targets are realistic?
Well, they're phase-out dates, so it means that from those dates you won't be able to buy the older vehicles, you'll only be able to buy vehicles at a zero tailpipe emission. But we need to move quicker. If we're going to see the logistics industry rapidly change to zero tailpipe emission vehicles, we need to make sure the support is there. So that's why we're saying to government, help us on our journey, and then we can more rapidly reduce emissions.
In the meantime, I mean, is there a danger some operators might shut up shop rather than face the expense of going through all these changes?
I think logistics operators are facing a lot of challenges at the moment. Obviously, high inflation, volatile energy costs, other challenges. So this is an additional cost. And while our members are really keen to decarbonise, and we can see the enthusiasm through our report and the transition that's already taking place, we just need to give them the support they need so to make sure that operators can transition.
All right, Michelle, got to leave it there. Good to see you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
Some other stories now, and the US gold mining company Newmont has agreed a $17.8 billion takeover of Australia's Newcrest mining in a deal that will create the world's biggest gold mining company. The agreement comes after Newcrest turned down initial approaches from the US business 3 months ago. Newmont subsequently improved its terms. The deal is the third biggest in history involving an Australian company. Well, Tom Palmer, Newmont's chief executive, said Newcrest's copper assets had also been a key reason for wanting to do a deal. Shares of Currys have risen by 6% this morning after the electrical goods retailer said profits during the financial year just ended would be better than expected. Currys said it now expected to make a pre-tax profit of between £110 to £120 million for the year to the end of April. That was up from the £104 million it was previously guiding the market towards. It said trading in the UK and Ireland had been better than expected, and particularly during March and April. Full-year sales on a like-for-like basis are expected to have been down by some 7% on the previous 12 months. British American Tobacco's chief executive Jack Bowles stepped down today with immediate effect after 4 years in the job. His departure comes 3 weeks after the world's second largest quoted tobacco company agreed to pay US authorities at least $635 million to settle charges of sanctions busting in North Korea. Well, Mr. Bowles, who'd been with BAT for 31 years, will be replaced by the company's chief financial officer, Tadeu Marroco. And shares of Wood Group have slumped by as much as 35% this morning. That was after the US private equity firm Apollo said it did not intend to make an offer for the consulting and engineering company. Well, Apollo, which had previously had 5 separate takeover approaches rejected by Wood, had until this Wednesday to make a firm offer under takeover rules. Its most recent approach was said to value Wood at just under £1.7 billion. Well, Wood Group, which employs some 35,000 people around the world, said it remained confident in its strategic direction and was enjoying good momentum across all business units. Now, the black swan theory was developed 22 years ago by the mathematician and former trader Nassim Nicholas Taleb to describe hard-to-predict events that come as a shock, that have a major impact, and that can only be rationalised afterwards. Well, the theory has been taken increasingly seriously by businesses as they tried to build up resilience. But how do you prepare for an unpredictable event? Well, that's something that the business intelligence and software provider Board International has been pondering. And joining me now is Mark Olayomi. He's the chief executive of Board International. Marco, very good morning to you. I mean, how can a business adequately prepare for a black swan event? Because by definition, we're talking about unknown unknowns almost.
Thank you for having me here, Ian. As you said, under the assumption that the disruption we're seeing since under COVID will be here to stay, we reach out to more than 2,400 international business leaders And we ask them what is about their ability to plan. What we learned that a third of the businesses say they are not ready for the next disruption. However, many of the businesses are investing and are taking this issue very seriously. However, planning transformation are really complex, and there are still some major gaps to be addressed.
You mentioned the pandemic there. What sort of lessons have been learned, do you think?
Yeah, look at is 22% of the businesses really don't feel prepared about the next pandemics. And what we're seeing that probably upgrading on the technology capability is probably the number one element of that. Unfortunately, still 98% of the business we interview, they're using very outdated technologies designed many years ago for solving problems of the future. The other one in that element, skill gaps to get them prepared. One of the key skill gaps we identify is data analyst. A big opportunity either to train the existing workforce or to bring from higher education skills that can help to react fast in the context of those situations.
So skill shortages and technology, those are the main two sort of challenges around planning?
I would say so.
What about the pandemic, of course, was completely out of a clear blue sky in terms of it wouldn't have necessarily had an issue around data. Are there other things like that concerning businesses?
So look at, we are not in the business of predicting the future, but where we are to give capability to the business to react and thrive. And what we're seeing that, if you take Gartner, an analyst you know very well, they confirm that there are some good news. There's an incredible upside for those businesses that achieve planning agility. In fact, between those that can plan at the speed of change and those one that plan too slowly, those ones that go faster are 198% more likely to take advantage of the opportunity created by the disruption, and only 124% more likely to mitigate those external events. So there is the opportunity, and that's what we're here to focus.
Could the invasion of Ukraine be described as a black swan event?
Look, if I go back to the theory, we think about those black swan events. Those are difficult to predict, and they are very catastrophic consequences. So I would think about that being one, the pandemic, and a recession as well we put in the category.
I mean, the modern CEO just has to be all sorts of things. I mean, they've got to be across the numbers. They've got to be all about the technology, future-proofing the business. It sounds like they've got to be experts in geopolitics as well these days.
No, but one thing that we see from the result of the survey, and one of the key element is the decision-making, the leadership. We say that planning is a team sport. And any organization needs to become a data-driven organization, make sure that those insights for planning are available at all levels of organization. And the CFO need to get out of the walls of their department. They start working with the head of supply chain, head of sales and marketing, and head of merchandising. So we think about this as an enterprise-wide capability, and that's really the differentiator.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it goes all the way down through an organisation. If you think that every employee is being told to guard against things like cyber attacks, it's something for all people in a business.
You're totally right.
What I thought was interesting about your report, though, was that there are certain sectors who are more attuned to this than others. So it looks like the technology sector and, unsurprisingly, financial services are right across this. Did you detect a lack of resilience elsewhere?
So what we're seeing that those sectors that are least prepared, according to their answer, is catering, leisure, and retail. We have a lot of customers, particularly in retail, in fashion retail, and consumer goods. And what we see that all those elements that impact ability to spend and supply chain just impact also this type of businesses. So we work a lot with some of these businesses. And again, business agility, plan and react is one of the elements that allows some to stand out compared to the pressure there is in the sector.
All right, Marco, it's a fascinating subject. Thanks for talking it through with us.
Thank you so much.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. We're going to have a look at how the markets are doing this Monday morning. Don't go away.
Amazon Alexa Young Innovator Challenge is a challenge for teenagers where you create an Alexa skill, which is to help with your Alexa. And so mine is designed to help you recycle. So it will So imagine you're cooking and you've got a piece of plastic and your hands are wet, you don't have a leaflet nearby. You just ask Alexa, can I recycle this? And it will ask you a series of questions about if you can recycle the item or not. I think recycling is very important. Obviously, it leads to the future and what happens next in the next generations. And it's just a very vital part of our life and how it's going to develop over the next few years. I went to a camp with STEMettes when I was 7 years old, and also one of the founder of STEMettes is Anne-Marie Imafidon, who is also one of the judges of the competition. So it's kind of a full circle, nice, complete thing. And it was quite nice to have the judges as very important, and coding's very important to me, and it's quite vital in how we develop next generations. So everyone does computer science in the school up until year 8, and then they can choose if they want to develop it. But obviously it's very promoted about how important it is in the future. And that's why Amazon has the Future Engineer program, which gives women the chance to go to a university with funding, which is £20,000, and it's 30 women each year. And so these women are given the opportunity to do computer science or engineering with extra help from Amazon. I think AI should be used generously, and also people should be taught how to use it responsibly, especially as people come up with fears about it. But it's definitely going to become very important, and I just think we need to use it responsibly. I think some people are maybe a bit more suspicious, but then my 90-year-old grandma has an Alexa, used to have an Alexa, and she was able to use it confidently, and she could listen to music and she could use it and maybe talk to us through it. And so she enjoyed it, and she actually knew how to use it very confidently.
Well, Turkish assets have sold off this morning amid signs that President Erdogan has a modest lead going into an expected runoff for the presidency. The Turkish lira has fallen to a 2-month low against the US dollar and is on course for its worst one-day fall in 6 months. Turkish government bonds have also sold off, while the cost of insuring against a Turkish government default has jumped to its highest price in 6 months. On the equity markets, well, the Nikkei in Tokyo was the star performer in the Asia-Pacific region overnight, hitting an 18-month high amid continued strong company results. Here in Europe, most of the indices are in positive territory right now. Only the IBEX in Madrid in negative territory right now. Talking points in Europe this morning include AXA. The insurer is ahead by some 2.5% in Paris as its quarterly results were well received. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in positive territory right now, up 0.25% on gains for some of the mining heavyweights. Leading blue chips higher this morning is the gold miner Endeavour. It's up 1.75% on the back of the Newcrest mining takeover. Anglo-American, another gold mining business, up by some 2% in the same sector. Outside the FTSE, Trainline, the shares there are ahead by some 5.5%. That's on supportive broker comment. Its results a couple of weeks ago were quite well received. Elsewhere in the mid-250, the distributor Diploma Group is ahead by just over 2%. That's after it posted a 30% rise in half-year sales. On the downside, I mentioned them earlier on in the programme, John Wood, the shares off 33% right now. It's the leading mid-cap faller on the end of those takeover talks. On the foreign exchange markets, well, sterling is up 1/5% right now against the US dollar. It's also up 1/6% nearly against the euro. The single currency, meanwhile, up just under 1/10% right now against the greenback. As for the oil price, well, that's continued to drift this morning amid ongoing concerns over global demand. A barrel of Brent crude more or less unchanged right now at $74.20 a barrel. Joining me this morning is Russ Mould. He's the investment director at AJ Bell. Russ, good to see you this morning. I mean, Turkish assets do tend to be somewhat volatile.
Is the word you're looking for, I think. Yeah, so the BIST 100, which is the Turkish equivalent of the FTSE 100, that's down around 3 to 4% this morning. And the lira continuing a long multi-year slide. I think it was 5 lira to the dollar 5 years ago. Now it's nearly 20. And a lot of this is down to President Erdogan's what are viewed as unorthodox policies from a Western point of view. He's been insisting central bank governors cut interest rates at a time of very, very high inflation. Yeah. So interest rates have come down from 19 to 8.5% over the past couple of years, when inflation's still running at 40 odd. So I think Western investors were hoping perhaps what they would see as a steadier hand at the tiller maybe coming in, but it looks as if the election results are going to be an awful lot closer than Western investors were expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing how resilient a lot of Turkish companies have had to be, given inflation in that country.
My wife works in the fashion industry, and she's been dealing with Turkish suppliers and things they have to put up with in terms of currency movements and inflation, making it extremely difficult for them. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about some of the individual company stories around this morning. Currys really took everyone a bit by surprise, I think.
Yeah, they dished out a few profit warnings, so expectations were quite low. The shares were trading near a 12-month low, but the results a little bit better than expected. Some of that's due to an accounting issue on a debtor, but I think probably the big one there is debt is down. Yeah. Less debt means less risk. Less risk can mean a higher share price. I think there's a big sigh of relief there. Overall, sales are still pretty difficult in the UK and in the Nordic region. Signs maybe of a little bit of improvement in the UK.
Yeah, now what about Wood Group?
I don't know whether that's a comment on Wood Group or a comment on Apollo, if the truth be told, because Apollo's had a what could be described as a sticky run with its UK approaches. It's walked away from THG, walked away from Pearson, walked away from Wood, missed out on William Hill when Caesars Entertainment whipped that from under them, missed out on Morrison's when CD&R beat them to it. Rumours of a Sainsbury's bid that never appeared. I think it missed out on, went to First Group, had a look and walked away. So I guess you can say from their perspective, they're being disciplined, they're having a look, they're paying the price down, and then after that, that's it, we're not going to budge. So maybe you can say that, but equally I'm sure investors in Wood will be a little bit perplexed as to why there was a fairly big premium offered and then withdrawn.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, what was interesting though is that it took them 5 goes to get to the number as well. I mean, there's a lot of distraction on Wood's management in this.
The management's been a big grin on their time, and they'll be looking now to get back to basics. I mean, one of the key questions for Wood and Hunting, which is down in sympathy today, is oil expenditure has been very, very low for a very long time. Environmental reasons, with lots of pressure on not to drill holes in the Earth's crust, lots of pressure on the oil price. That's not been encouraging investment either when it went negative a couple of years ago. But in theory, we're still addicted to hydrocarbons, much as we're trying to move away from them. There are signs of a little bit of an increase in activity, particularly in America, and Wood and Hunting would be quite well placed for that. Republicans, of course, are pressing for more shale activity in exchange for a budget deal in the US, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we talk about drilling holes in the Earth's crust. I mean, the BAT chief executive has fallen through a trapdoor in the boardroom this
That's
morning.
A weird one, because the chief executive leaving with immediate effect, no profit warning, no statement of any kind that things are going less well than expected, no activist beating the door down demanding changes. So that is an odd one. Maybe it's related to the North Korean sanctions busting fine, which Mr. Bolt has been at the company for a very, very long time. His replacement, the chief financial officer, Tadeo Morocco, been there about 4 years, so knows the business, but doesn't perhaps have that legacy associated. But yeah, a weird one, really. And the only other thing is Imperial Brand shares are up nearly a fifth over the last year. BATs are down by something similar, so maybe one or two investors or the board have been having a little bit of a look at that. Imperial seems to be doing perhaps a bit of a better job adapting to the brave new world of vapes and e-cigarettes.
And they have a relatively new CEO, of course.
They do, Mr. Bomhard,
Now, what about another company that's caught your eye this morning, Restore? It's a business, we've had the CEO on the programme a few times.
I think it's a pretty sensible company. The core of it is storing documents in some old bomb shelter out in Berkshire, I think, which, has got to be done. But they also do office moves and they do IT and equipment recycling. Now, I guess office moves could be a bit quiet at the moment, given that space is not exactly difficult to find, but it's the IT recycling business that they've said has gone slow on them. I guess there was a big upgrading kit that firms put in 2-3 years ago because of lockdowns, and I think they're just hanging on to it, and that ties in with a lot of things we're hearing from the consultants that PC sales are down by something like a quarter year on year, which is why people have been waiting for more profit warnings from the tech sector from people like Apple and Microsoft, and they've not been happening yet. But another sign that maybe things aren't quite as straightforward there as they may seem.
Slowing PC sales, hard to square that with what we heard out of Currys. I mean, Currys is obviously retail.
This is the thing, and I guess Currys is more retail, whereas Restore is more corporate. But yeah, it is intriguing, which again, Microsoft's been clearly doing brilliantly. Apple, its Mac sales were down very, very sharply in the first quarter, but it was again dug out by that wearables and accessories and the app ecosystem that it's got, which just makes customers so sticky.
Yeah, Russ, got to leave it there. Always good to see you.
Pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Still to come here on Ian King Live. I've been speaking to the two-time Formula One champion Mika Hakkinen about his design of a new electric superbike. If you're into F1 or indeed superbikes, you don't want to miss this.
Yeah, and the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clemens, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
That will take you to our live blog and you can follow all the latest on President Zelensky's visit there. Now, recent years have seen growing business awareness of the menopause. Many businesses have introduced menopause-specific HR policies, with some, like Bank of Ireland, offering menopause leave to staff. Others, meanwhile, are offering products and services to cater for the needs of women going through the menopause. Well, among them is Novamins, the gummy vitamin supplement brand, which is launching a range of women's gummies designed to provide menopausal support. Joining me now is Valerie Stark-McQuillan. She's Board Director and Chief Marketing Officer of Novamins. Valerie, great to see you this morning. What was the impetus for this?
First of all, thank you for having me in. We created a comprehensive gummy range for women, and it covers not only menopause, it also covers fertility and PMS and other general issues that women experience during their lifetime. And the reason we created specifically our menopause gummies is to provide women with a delicious solution that aimed at supporting their health during this challenging time in their lives. And we know, according to statistics, pretty much 100% of women, but with severe symptoms, 85% will experience the menopausal symptoms. And this experience is already daunting. So we decided to create something delicious that can support them during this time.
I mean, you studied neuroscience. Has that informed the approach that you're taking here?
Absolutely. In our formulations for all three different health concerns, we've created formulations that are combine tradition and latest neuroscience and science advances. And we combined herbal medicines and scientifically studied medicines together with vitamins and minerals, as well as latest science-backed bacteria.
I mean, the menopause affects mental health as well as physiological health.
Absolutely.
Presumably it's the latter that you're essentially trying to treat in the first instance here.
These are comprehensive formulations, so we're trying to aim at all different symptoms. And for example, when it comes to the bacteria that we introduce in our formulations, which is the world's first formulations in a gummy form, the bacteria aimed at lots of different symptoms, including the psychological health.
Without getting too technical on me here, what's the science that underpins this?
So for example, when we talk about bacteria is something that communicates to our brain. And depending on the balance of bacteria in our gut, our mood can fluctuate. And this is what happens a lot when we approach menopausal age.
Right. Has much work been done on that, the imbalances in the gut then that happens when a woman's going through the menopause?
Absolutely, and this connected to the decrease of estrogen. At the same time, it's very important to supply body with specific bacteria which will get rid of excess of estrogen. There are different types of estrogen in women's body, and one of the very big challenges right now in the modern world, women exposed to too much estrogen in the environment through, for example, cleaning products and the makeup. So whilst it's important to have certain amount of estrogen, good estrogen as we call it, the bad estrogen, xenoestrogens, should be eliminated in the body. And that's why also it's important to introduce the friendly bacteria that does the job, as well as mix of vitamins and minerals such as magnesium, which eliminates the excess of estrogen.
That's absolutely fascinating. I mean, I had no idea that it was in cleaning products and things like that. Why is that allowed to happen?
Well, look, a lot of things are happening in the environment, and unfortunately, unless you are conscious about yourself and you consciously eliminate those things from your life, we as women have to face those issues. And one of the issues that we often face with those excess estrogen levels are endometriosis as well, and PMS symptoms.
Valerie, it's a fascinating topic. I wish I could talk more with you, but we're out of time, I'm afraid. Good to see you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we've talked a lot on this programme about electric cars and electric trucks, but there's also a burgeoning electric motorcycle industry. And where there are bikes, there are super bikes. Among the leading players in the field is the Finnish company Verge Motorcycles. Its investors include the Formula One legend Mika Häkkinen, and the two-times world champion has just designed a new limited edition superbike for the business that goes on sale today. I've been speaking with him.
First of all, I'm a huge motorbike fan, and since when I was a kid, I was always riding a little moped in countryside in Finland, and then later on, of course, I end up to racing in the cars, ending up to Formula One, and winning a world championship a couple of times. So I never really didn't have opportunity to really explore the motorbike so much. But now later on, of course, I did retire already. 2001, so that's quite a few years ago. So now I had through my friends' connection, the network, I had an opportunity to be part of the company Verge, which are making a electric superbike, and I was fascinated because the technology what they can create, innovation what they have, and the battery technology. And I thought, I want to be part of this. This is going to be amazing. And here I am today in Monaco, opening the shop together with the Verge team, and giving Monaco the opportunity to have an amazing superbike.
You had a reputation in F1 for being quite heavily involved in the car development. Clearly, you've carried that into this.
You're absolutely right. The most of them were catastrophic. We did develop together with my teammate David Coulthard, Paddy Lowe, with the great designers Adrian Newey. We had an incredible team and that time when I was racing Formula One, the regulations were much wider, much more possibilities to do different kind of innovations. So we designed in Formula One 2 brake pedals. Why two brake pedals? Because we always have some technical issue in the corners with the car. So with the second brake pedal, we were able to balance the car. I'm not going to go to details, but it's just an example. Other example is, with the innovations, I did mention to the engineers and designers that every time when I'm accelerating out of the corner, I'm always feeling I'm a little bit late on the throttle pedal. So can we have the throttle pedal in the steering? So that's what they did. They built the steering wheel. They built with the throttle in the steering wheel, and of course it didn't work. But but it gave the indication.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands, the hand that made me who I am. Same for now.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to welcome you all to the Monday edition of the morning show. Today is the 15th day of May. The time now 10:42 from the House of London. It is Starr Radio UK.
All of you makes my heart beat.
I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
Morning show with Archie.
Well, let me say good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, HRH Linda Pallien, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. And let me also take the opportunity to say good morning to Mr. Frank Davis back in Ghana, Felix in Aberdeen, and Kojo D here in the south of London. And to you listening to me, watching me, I say welcome on board. A special good morning go to Ismaila Aladi Subru. Good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well, Ismaila. Olakunle, good morning to you. Anthony Adedeji, good morning to you. Bishop Adeshina. And to all the ones in the office, I salute you all this morning. I'll say, hey, thank God Nigeria has not happened to you, and I hope you are doing very, very well there as well. Casino all the way in Moscow, I salute you. Mr. Ebenezer Hammond, and all you, Chantel, and all you wonderful people down there in Cape Town, I salute you all. Let me say good morning to my baby sister Delta all the way in Kumasi. I hope you are doing good. Ismail, are you in Ghana listening to us?
Love for you runs things.
Okay, do. Let me say morning to Mr.
Love you makes my heart.
KB Bossman. I brought you the program, The Faith Talk, yesterday. Another smash of a program there. I salute you and all presenters on Starr Radio UK. Dave West and all. Good morning. Okay, for those of you who have tuned in for the first time to listen to us on Starr Radio UK, this is how the program goes on Starr Radio UK on the morning show, the Monday edition, of course. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. Then after that, that is Global Trot. And after that, at 11 o'clock, we have it online, Koiki, who will be coming your way to bring you all that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria. With the updates from Nigeria. And then we continue from there, and then exactly at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to have your voice to the discussions. The discussions continue from there, looking at all other countries, as we say all the time, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. If it's making the headlines, why not? We're going to touch on it. We'll move on from there, and then at 12:30 exactly, we'll take you straight to Cyprus, where our own HRH Linda Pallien is to bring you Career 101. So in Nigeria, that's what's going to happen today. Then after that, we'll just bring the curtains down for the end of the program. But of course, the program will not be void of music. So those of you who want some music, I promise you one thing for sure, you'll be having it, lots of it as well. But once again, welcome. So let's move on straight to the quote for the day. It says, opportunity does not answer to needs, but to preparation and results. So are you looking at, and how prepared are you? How agile are you when opportunities come knocking at your door? Let's move on straight to the weather front. We had a lovely weather over the weekend, especially those of us in the south of the UK, yes, of England. Yeah, it was a lovely one there. A slight wind, rain, I think, when was that? But after that, things became calmer and we'd enjoy that as well. Okay, but today, this how the weather is going to be for you. This afternoon, there will be a mixture of sunny spells and patchy cloud, along with a chance of a few scattered showers moving in from the northeast, breezy with moderate northerly winds expected as well. And tonight, we'll see any daytime showers ease away. Overnight, clear skies will prevail with little in the way of any cloud, remaining dry throughout. From the temperature, it's going to be 15 degrees. The lower is going to be 7 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate. UV level high and pollution low. Sunset 20:45 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 05:09 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast. It is Starr Radio UK. We're going to be taking you straight to the roads, but that will be after this commercial break. Stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. We'll keep it navigated. The Starr Radio UK promise, and there we are going to deliver on it. Pertaining to your travels, we make sure that we are with you. We hold your hands. So what's happening on the travel this morning? Those of you in the UK, especially those of you in London this morning, Hammersmith and City Line has got minor delays due to signal failure at Barking. And then Jubilee Line has got minor delays due to train cancellation. That aside, all the other underground lines have got good service there. DLR, London Tramlink, London Overground, good service. But let's move on straight to the major roads in London. And I can tell you, apart from the central London red routes that have got serious delays, all the others have got good service. That's a good one. The River Bus is also running a good service there, and then the London Cable Car, good service there. But to the final segment of the travel update, that is the National Rail. Let's see what is happening on it. Well, cross country has got minor delays. Great Western Railway, severe delays. Northern Rail, minor delays. Southern, minor delays. Thameslink, minor delays. And Transport for Wales, minor delays. That aside, all the others, good service. And as I would say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 10 minutes to the top of the hour. That means it's now time for Global Trotting. So let's go. Now, Nigeria government, when it comes to what we're going to be looking at in Nigeria, when we have Mr. Olayomi, Nigeria government, Nigerian government citizens don't trust each other. Yaradua Center is saying here is there is a distrust between the Nigerian government across all levels, and the citizens say says Mutaka Rabi Dama, the president of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Human Development Center. Well, maybe you're listening to us and you think that no. There's a nice cohesion between the public or citizens and government, and so everything is kind of cool if you think that way, because depending on where you are standing, you see things differently. Let your points let us know what you are talking about there. Cook a ton, Nigeria chef Hilda Bassi sets new Guinness World Record for marathon cooking. Yeah, she's doing very, very well. And the citizens must portray Nigeria in good light. Ms. Osibanjo stressed that every country talks up their own country, and people of every country talk up their own country. So, our country is absolute rubbish. They are doing worse things. Everybody knows about it. But we say, our country is very, very good. It's a very lovely place. Well, we can say that. But up to what point? When do we continue, doing introspection? And whilst we say that, people are trying to do what they have to do to make sure that things stick along nicely. We'll be talking more about that. With the insecurity and everything, the oppression and everything that people are talking about. What do you think? What do you think? While some people are tightening their belts, others have loose theirs. They've got extensions. Or maybe this time decided not to even put on any belts because they got their bellies as Nigerians with their belly full, so they don't need it. What do you think about all that? We'll be telling you more about that. He tried to kill me. My family members, Nigerian artist Sean Kuti explains why he slapped policeman in viral video. Now, military officers right to presidency, Senate others vow to force radical change to save Nigeria if evil continues. What kind of radical change are they talking about there? Okay. And then we have Yoruba Nollywood actor Murphy Afolabi dies after bathroom fall. A sad one there. We say may his soul rest in perfect. But there's lots more that we're going to be looking at wherever you are. So don't you think of even touching the dial at all, because we're here to serve you breakfast school brunch. So let's go on. Now, when it comes to other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world as well, what are we looking at? Well, still on the African continent, Rwanda prioritizes relocation of disaster-stricken households post-flood reconstruction. Heavy rain caused significant 137 casualties and injuries in the northern, western, and southern provinces of Rwanda on early May. The government has said, but they are prioritizing reconstruction and resettling of these individuals. And Sudanese continue to flee the country as fighting entered its fifth week. To what end? To what end? And what are they looking for? These leaders. And Libyan forces deployed in western city of after deadly fighting took place there as well. It's one of the stories making the rounds. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Special prosecutor invites money spraying NDC MP aspirants over suspected case of corruption. Now that is the culture when it comes to politics in Africa. We'll talk about people who have bullion vans coming into their homes and then have money. They say, well, the bullion van missed their way, and that's why they came to land park in their yard. That's quite interesting. Well, this around one who was spraying money, helicopter money, during an internal election. Or primaries, the special prosecutor is saying that he's invited them all to quiz them. But that they did tantamounts to corruption. What do you think? The suspected food poisoning. 22 people hospitalized after eating food at a funeral. So some will tell you that's why when they go out for events like that, they don't wanna eat. Okay. Now, first tranche of IMF cash to hit Bank of Ghana account this week. When it hits it, how is it going to impact? We're just going to borrow to what? Service our debt or what? To do what? Okay. But they tell you that they need that money. 2 charged for contempt, insulting the court. Well, it looks like in the animal kingdom, some animals are more equal than others. That seems to be the problem there. I'll be telling you more about that. Giadec will ensure value addition to bauxite to prevent raw export. That's what the Kufuado is saying. What have we heard? One of my cousins will say Yatiabre. We've heard it over and over and over again. We've not seen any action, so get on it. Okay. While only accounts lead the MPP is over, it is time for other tribes. Ocheribefi is saying that means they try to get maybe the vice president who hails from the north, or maybe an Ewe candidate, or maybe a Ga candidate. Are they going to get that? Let's see when the MPP primaries also take place. But Mohammed's victory, we can achieve great things with common purpose. Alabi is saying, Joshua Alabi, that is Professor Joshua Alabi, is making that statement pertaining to the former President John Dramani Mohammed's victory in the NDC primaries that took place on Friday. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now moving on to other parts of the world as well. Here in the UK, we have President Zelensky who arrived in UK for a surprise meeting with Sunak. The Ukrainian president visited Italy, the Vatican, Germany, and Paris over the weekend. Well, it's landed in the UK. Well. Last week we had the Russian authorities saying that, you know what, the Kremlin saying UK, you are now getting yourself properly involved in this war. Okay, now if you remember, about a month ago, that information that leaked, that was talking about the war in Ukraine and where the flaws and what has been done and everything. It was somebody would say a very, very sad situation there for your secrets to be revealed in public that way. However, the UK didn't. I thought that maybe that would cause them to like say, yeah, let's back down, but they're still going on. So he's here. They're going to be getting some more arms and ammunition. So we'll see what is going to happen there. Now, private ADHD clinics exposed by some undercover probing. We'll be telling you more about it. Sex abuse victims must get specialist support. How true is that? Campaigners call for fully funded counseling services to be included in the upcoming victims bill, and COVID support in place as A-levels and GCSEs begin. Peoples in England, Wales and Northern Ireland are told their grades will be protected from COVID disruptions. Yeah. Well, last week they said that one of the English exams that they wrote was a bit under the belt, was too difficult. That's what parents were saying. That's the SARS. But what do you think? Okay. Now, Bishop Adesina says, good morning, Starr Radio UK. I thought such police deserve serious love. Well, we'll be talking more about that in a moment. But, well, the Home Secretary here in the UK has said she's going to be making a speech or a statement today, and she's going to argue that it's not racist to want to control borders in the speech later. Well, you know, she's not a native, okay? But now she's trying to do everything, trying to be like tough. And she said that we're being so or doing so, it doesn't mean that they are being racist, okay? That is quite interesting. Who are the ones? Majority of them, where are they coming from? I rest my case. Well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In other world news as well, Turkey heads for election runoff as Erdogan edges ahead. Well, Turkey's president tells crowd he will win 5 more years in power, but the margin is tight. Well, they're supposed to go for a second round. Now, that seems to be what is going to happen. There is the third party that garnered 5% of the vote, and it looks like we're going to be seeing more about that. But you know what? It is Starr Radio UK, and as I did say, 11 o'clock, we're having Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who has joined in. So I'll be going to him. But whilst I allow him to gather himself up, now Bishop Adesina says, simply because such unfortunate issues has been happening and pleas have been going unpunished, shameless citizens, shameless country. Well, lots of it going to be coming away from there. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 1 minute after 11, and it's time now for us to bring you updates from Nigeria. So let me go straight to our North London studios where we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, good morning. Yomi, just a minute. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Let me see. Yeah, go on. Let me see. Okay, now I can't hear Yomi. I can't hear Yomi. Just bear with me. Just check if you are muted, please. Okay. All right. Listeners, just bear with us whilst we sort the audio bit from Yomi's end. Okay, let me see. Yomi, can you hear me now? Oh my. Okay. Okay, I can't hear you. I don't know exactly what is happening, but I think listeners will be able to hear you. Let's see. No, I don't know why I can't hear you at all. Okay. Just hold on for a minute. Let's play some music, and then I will try to see whether I can fix that. Stay tuned. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's see whether Yomi can hear me now. Yomi, can you hear me? Oh my word. You can hear me, but I can't hear you. I'm not sure what exactly is happening there. Okay. I think we have to do the drill. Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We apologize sincerely for the challenges that we're having this morning, but just bear with us. Let's see whether we can hear Yomi now. Hello, Yomi. Wow. Okay. Let me see. Yomi, can you hear me? Whoa.
From the north to the south, from the east to the west, nobody like you, Jesus. Lord, we worship.
Okay. You know, we do have technical issues like that at times. But what I'm going to do something. I'm just going to hand it over straight to him, and then he'll be bringing you all the stories whilst I try to monitor in the background what is going on. So I know that you listeners can hear him, so he will go on. I'll be monitoring from the studio because I think our interactions is what is giving us a bit of a problem there. But just bear with us. Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi, we're going to him straight in the North London studios for him to bring us the updates from Nigeria. Now, he's going to be telling you more about Nigeria's government and citizens' relationship. That they're saying that there's no trust there. What is all that about? Let's go to our North London studios. Yomi, over to you. Okay, Yomi, it looks like we can't hear you at all and your sound is not coming through here. So it might be something to do with our system here. So we'll go to the other line. I'm going to call you on the other line, and then we can continue our conversation from there. Please, let's do it that way so that listeners can at least hear you there as well. So just bear with me. We're going to switch to the other line to see whether we can get Mr. Olayomi Koiki on. Listeners, bear with me. Starr Radio UK. Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Let's see whether we can hear Yomi. Yomi, please talk. Let me see.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I can hear you now as well. So let's go on. So we can be using that at the audio bit, and then we just mix it out nicely. Listeners, we sincerely apologize for that technical error. It should be sorted by the technical team in the next few moments. Bishop Adeshina says we can't hear him either. Okay, and we are not hearing him. I think it's the call transmit. Okay, thank you very much. I think we sorted something out in the interim. The technical team are working behind the scenes. Okay, so now let's go back to the first story about the distrust between citizens and the government in Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, like I was saying earlier, there is always a problem when there is no trust, in government and the citizen, not just in Nigeria, across the world. But the Yaradua Center, the Islamic provisions and the leadership emphasize that the leaders should be trustworthy, transparent, and likewise accountable. Nigerian government and the citizens don't trust each other. That is the headline, coming from this morning on the news coming from Nigeria. According to Mutakaba Rabidama, the president of the Umaru Yaradua Human Development Center, Rabidaba disclosed this yesterday in Katsina during the 13th Umaru Musa Yaradua Day Memorial Lecture organized by the Katsina State First Youth Fix Under Grassroots Aid Initiative. According to him, functional government systems require a trustworthy leader who exploit an all-inclusive government, considering all stakeholders as part of the decision making. He noted that he also required appreciating people's functionality and ability, irrespective of whether they acquired knowledge or skills formally or distinctly. Yaradua died in the during the as the government in Nigeria. Umaru Musa Yaradua, was the president of the Nigeria in 2007 to 2010. Umaru Musa Yaradua was a Nigerian politician who served as the president of Nigeria from 2007 to 2010. He was declared the winner of the presidential election that was held 21st of April 2007, but was sworn in on the 29th of May 2007. He died, in power, and it's just the 13 years anniversary that is going on where that message was actually coming from. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio before we go into some of the other headlines.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koike, we're bringing you updates from Nigeria. But moving on straight to some of the other stories that is making the rounds there, talking about that we talk about the distract, but the military have also come in to make some statements. So I'm thinking, what exactly is happening there? Okay, not that. Just bear with me quickly. Let me bring you what the military is also saying. The military officers have written to the presidency and Senate and others, vowing to force radical change to save Nigeria. So we are talking about the fact that citizens actually don't trust. They don't trust the government. There is a big wedge between citizens and government. But we have the military saying that we're going to see to it. So that means whether you like it or not, just shush and just get on with it. Let government behave whatever way that they are trying to behave. Is that what they're trying to say there?
Well, the news actually came out yesterday. We've been talking about the military architect in Nigeria. It has always been, the best in Africa, but I'm not too sure right now because we can't even deal, with the internal insurgency that we have, all the terrorism happening within Nigeria. So that literally means that more Nigerians are out of jobs because most of them cannot get to point A to B. But some military officers under the aegis of concerned patriotic military officers have now raised the alarm over the state of the nation, which it has said has become increasingly impossible to guarantee the survival of Nigeria as a country. The group raises concern in an open letter the survivor of the presidency.
Okay, Yomi, I think the other system is ready. I think the other system is working now. So we just switch on straight to the other system. Yeah. Okay. So just go on. Go on. System is ready. I think the other system is working now. So we just switch on straight to the other system. Yeah. Okay. So just go on. Go on. System is ready. I think the other system. Okay. My apologies. My apologies for that. Yomi, go on. Go on. Please go on. Oh, what have I done? Listeners, just bear with me. No, Yomi, we go back to the way that it was going on. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. Okay. Yes. So let's go on. Yeah. Sorry about that. Listeners, we sincerely apologize.
Yeah, so
yeah. Go on.
And likewise, they're also advising the incoming president, Bola Tinubu, to I'm just trying to get exactly what the message was. Nigerians, wake up and seize your destiny by yourself, because no one will do it for you. If there is any section of the country that is considered not relevant, then let them leave. The Constitution provides for federalism and all-inclusive, but even the army is regionally, religious, and ethnic, now the group advised. So this is the message coming out, and this again continue to show, the fragment that we have, not just within the military, but within the trust that the Yerodra, message that is coming from Castina yesterday as well. So it seems that what we've seen and what we've been hearing is almost the same thing. Now let's go further. Now imagine that Nigeria has been at war over 13 years and the country has lost about 250,000 officers and soldiers, but only a fraction of them have participated genuinely in this war. The Nigerian army is the most guilty of the services that will catalyze the destruction of Nigeria. The kind of evil in the army is beyond comprehension.
Wow, that is some would say below the belt statement that is coming from there. But let me, before I comment on that, Aziz says good morning, brother Koike and Mr. Archie, and with the rest of the team. Good morning to you, Aziz. We hope you are doing very, very well. Now, does that mean that they are going to go after those who are thinking that, look, the system is not working, we want out? Like the Yoruba Nation, like the IPOP who are calling for the Southeast to just get out of it. Is that what the military is trying to say?
Well, not literally what they are saying. What the military is actually saying is that, there are some internal individuals within the Nigerian caucus that have destroyed, the Nigerian military today. And they are actually, putting the same message that we have been saying for some time now, that the military has not yet been given. I mean, we receive a lot of, message from those that are still serving. And the message always is that they are not given the best equipment to fight, in as much as, they are buying, second-hand, materials, to fight the insurgency. And that is going to be very, very difficult. The group allege that they are not actually, having anything to do with the Biafra or the Yoruba, but they are alleging that officers use the stolen fund to buy estate and assets all over Nigeria. These are money that is meant to fight, into the war. They also went on to say that some of the officers will never take part in a war, but they enjoy the most. Imagine the army becoming a regional army where officers and soldiers are sent to serve in their state because they can't afford to pay for posting. This then shows that, the center is completely broken. And if we continue in that direction, then we might not know what is going to happen. Regional government was what we got that allows everybody to have their own system operating, but it seems that has failed after most of the coup and the civil war that took place in 1967 in Nigeria.
But listen, as it's Starr Radio UK. Now, Tinubu and Shettima are saying that they are going to tackle Nigeria's problems head on. Okay? So the question is, all this that the military are also saying, the situation that people find, the citizens of Nigeria find themselves, that desperate situation, I mean, being rated as the one of the poverty capitals of the world, and looking at all those things, and the one-time dissipation of state funds. What do you think Nigerians are saying about Tinubu and Shettima? Do you think that they have some hope for them, that they will be the ones who are going to merge or bridge the gap between the citizens and governance?
Well, it seems that what Tinubu is trying to do with, in the last over the weekend, in 48 hours, we've been hearing that Tinubu is trying to reconcile, with some of those that are not even within the APC. Somebody like Bode George is a member of the PDP, but he has actually rejected such a reconciliation. APC moved to reconcile Tinubu, Bode George fails. An attempt by some members of the All Progressive Congress to actually bring in a former deputy national chairman of the People's. I don't know why Tinubu is taking that move, to try to reconcile with the PDP, Bode George, and the president-elect has failed. This was after some members of the Governance Advisory Council in Lagos State moved to get George to visit Tinubu in effort to reconcile both. The question you've asked is, whether Tinubu and Shettima will be able to rectify as many of the problems that Nigeria is facing today. What are the problems? We're talking about the insecurity, the economy is very, very bad, recession is already in the country. But the next headline that almost says something similar to that, bear with us, it seems that the system is a little bit, not up to spec this morning. What we know that Nigerians' expectation on Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be as much as what we were expecting when Buhari came in. But Tinubu and his baggage of failed governors is another headline. Unlike President Muhammadu Buhari, who appointed the best among the former governors of the All Progressive Congress as members of his cabinet in 2015, the incoming President Bola Tinubu may be tempted to flood his cabinet with failed governors whose only achievement were contribution to his victory. Among those who made President Muhammadu Buhari's ministers in 2015 were the former governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola, the counterpart in Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. They were among the best performing governors in the country during that 8-year tenure. While Fayemi was appointed the head of the Ministry of the Solid Minerals and Development, Fashola was actually given the Minister of Power, Works and Housing. However, it is doubtful if APC still has the likes of Fashola and Fayemi among the governors who will complete their 8-year tenure on May 29. The likes of Fashola and Fayemi, such as Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State and few others, still have one more term. So that means Tinubu will be bringing in somebody like the Kano State, Babariga Dollar into his cabinet. And like they say in this headline, there will be baggage of failed governors that Tinubu might be bringing in, because he will definitely have to appoint those that have made it possible for him to become the president.
Now, over the weekend, there was some, because of the platforms that we belong on, so there was some videos that was being sent around. I don't know how authentic that is, but it was pertaining to Shettima, who is said to have gone to, whether the hideout or meeting. That
was an old video, but definitely yes, that video is authentic. But that was an old video.
That was an old video, yes. So it's not the current one. But how trustworthy Nigerians when it comes to him then?
Well, Nigerians are very, very skeptical, around what we can call Shettima. And the reason for that is, Shettima, as the former governor under his belt, we saw, the Chibo girls, being taken away. And as many Nigerians believe that Shettima will be running the affairs of the country, while Tinubu will just be a figurehead as a president, as reverse to Buhari being the president, but they couldn't allow, the vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, to shine as much as possible. So, like I said, there will be a lot when it comes to Shettima, because Shettima seems to be ready for the government, whether Tinubu is ready or not. We know that Tinubu is not doing very well health-wise. So that means that as long as Tinubu's health is stable, then he might be able to monitor as much. But let's remember that under Obasanjo, Atiku was smart enough to outshine Obasanjo by moving as much of different, activities within the government. Eventually, by the time Obasanjo catch up with him, Atiku has moved as much out of the country as well. But again, another headline says 4 major issues that might frustrate Tinubu's administration. We are now gradually moving away from, Buhari. Even though Buhari is still in London, there's no indication that he has returned back to Nigeria. Still having tooth, ache treatment here, where a country with 200 million, we can't get, the best of our, dentistry to look after the president. But another article says 4 major issues that might frustrate Tinubu's administration. Let's look into it. In anticipation of his upcoming inauguration, President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu assured Nigerians, just like Buhari used to say, assure you of good governance and dividends of democracy under his administration. Time will tell. Buhari said the same thing, but we end up having 6 months of Twitter closure. Whether Tinubu will be able to take the baggage of, criticism that is going to be coming under his belt and making sure that, we don't see similar situation where Lai Mohammed flies out of the country to tell lies to the international media, knowing fully well the problem in Nigeria, in what could be described as a not too surprising development at the recent event in the politics, threatening the swearing in of Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos State and the leader of the APC. Meanwhile, the president-elect has stated that 2023 presidential election was fair, credible, and that it will not be confined by political consideration in assembling his government, but there is more to governance than campaign as well. Barely 14 days to 29 over. There are major issues currently weakening the country's democratic development, and this piece put together by a media issue some of those highlights. Let's talk about it quickly. Number 1, insecurity. The multiple conflicts, including the farmer-elder violence, deepening regional divide, and banditry. Boko Haram insurgency lies in the shoulder of the incoming. Again, let's look at number 2, grappling the economy. The current economic situation in Nigeria has gotten worse. In fact, the country is suffering from stubbornly high inflation and the recent financial sector turmoil. Let's look at number 3, corruption. Corruption under the belt of Buhari, is as big, and Tinubu will have to deal with that corruption if it needs to get Nigeria going. Corruption has been a big issue in Nigeria for quite some time. Political leaders have history of engaging in corrupt practice. The President Muhammadu Buhari made to Nigerians when he took the power from Goodluck Jonathan was to fight corruption, but in reverse is the case because corruption has eaten deep in the nation's politics. Number 4, fuel subsidy. Buhari has just, got the approval from the Senate for $800 million to pay about 50 million Nigerians, a kind of about 5 to 10,000 naira, every month to cushion by the time the fuel subsidy kicks in. In the 8 years of Olusegun Obasanjo presidency and the 5.5 years of Goodluck Ebele, there were loud calls for the removal of the subsidy, but that never happened. One common dominator in the administration of Obasanjo, the late Umaru Yar'Adua, and Jonathan, was that virtually everyone agreed the subsidy regime was the step in corruption. After failing to remove the first subsidy, which he once labeled as a fraud from 2015 to 2019, now 2023, Buhari is likely to leave his successor Bola Tinubu with this big burden. And that is about it. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koike in our North London studio. I'm Archie here in the South Studios. Oloremi Kilanko, good morning to you as well. It says Archie and Frank. Olayomi, good morning. Bishop Adesina says no intention from Nigeria's government or EFCC to repatriate him and try him. Rather, Nigeria government can pursue Chief Igboho, who outrage his ethnicity is being killed under Nigerian impunity. Well, that's what they are doing. So instead of me, he's talking about Shetima's case where he was said to be have affiliated himself with insurgents. Yet or terrorists, as we call them now, yet nothing of the sort have been done. But it is all coming away from Star Radio UK. But at times there are some good news that we can celebrate. At least we have our sister who was able to also cook for how many hours? I don't know what, 87 hours and 48 minutes. I don't know what food she was preparing. Whether Nigeria jollof rice, Ghana jollof rice, amala, what? I don't know. I think she was really cooking. Yomi, what was that all about?
Well, you need to be on the Twitter where she's currently trending. First and foremost, she has beat the world record, and she's now trying to set another new record. And that literally means that, she still have a lot of push in her hand. The picture behind is just, one of so many pictures that is trending. It is now actually hashtag. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go on, sir.
Okay. Well, she's trending at about hashtag 96 hours, and she's still going on, as usual, celebrities, everybody is just trying to catch up, with her. You can tell that by the time she's doing this, she will also, be putting Nigeria in that bracket under the, the Guinness World of Record. Who is this person that we are talking about? Her name is Nigerian chef Hilda Effiong Basi, popularly known as Hilda Basi, has surpassed the current Guinness World Record holder. With her future, she posed to break the Guinness World Record for the longest cooking marathon by an individual after eating 87 hours, 50 minutes. I was actually asking, who are those eating the food? And I'm being told that those that are in that surrounding are actually eating the food. The restaurant began the competition on Thursday after she turned on a cooker at 4 p.m., surpassed the current world record holder today, Monday morning. If certified by the Guinness World Record, she will be displaying the current world record holder, Lata Tondo, an Indian chef who achieved in 2019 87 hours, 45-minute record uninterrupted cooking. Basic cooking marathon is currently ongoing at Amor Gardens in Lagos State. I saw the governor of Lagos State there. So many celebrities have been, taking advantage of that as well. In an ongoing breaking attempt, Nigerians include several celebrities defy the rain to physically cheer up the visibly tired chef. Basi hit the 4-day mark on Monday morning. The chef won the median edition of the Jollof Face-Off competition in 2021, pocketing about almost $5,000. But the Guinness Book of Records is a reference book that contains human and natural world records. It was published in 1955. So this is still ongoing, and as we do know, they say if you can't push that thing, then you don't have to join. But she seems that she can do the push, and the push is still ongoing, as we do know right now. And there's been a lot of other people that have beat such. So let's take a look at the Nigerians that have broken the Guinness World Record in recent times. Benga Ezekiel, record for the most skit in a minute on one leg in February 2023 this year. Divine Ikubo, aka Rama, record for Calm Down as the first #1 hit on the official Mana chart, the world first regional streaming chart. Number 3, Bose Omolayo, the heaviest power lift by a female in the 79 kg category with about 144 kg in December 2021. Chukwubuka and Victor Richard, the most consecutive football passes with a solo teams of 2 in December 2021. Folashade Oluwafemi Ayo, the heaviest power lift by a female in the 86 kg category with 152 kg in December 2021. And the last 3, Chinozo, the most football headers in a prone position in 1 minute, which is about 23rd of 23 October 2021. Then Vincent, the most consecutive backward handspring with the football soccer between the legs, March 2022. Aruna Abdulaziz, the most American football touches with the feet in 1 minute in 2022. Peter recorded for 6. So you can tell that the last person, Bayo Omoburiowo, the largest photo book, which was measured at 60.84 in September. So Nigerians have done so well when it comes to the Guinness World Record. So it seems the chef is just adding onto the belt of what Nigerians have achieved under the Guinness World Record.
Yes, good. Again, congratulations to our sister Hilda Basi. We hope that the authorities try to help to prop her up so that others will also look at that and see that there's a way forward. When you're doing something, you celebrate them. I say it all the time. When we do well, we need to celebrate it, because if you don't celebrate yourself, you won't get anybody to celebrate you. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say good morning to Olayomi as well. He said, love you guys. We love you too, Olayomi. We hope you are doing very, very well. Okay, we'll go to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds at 11:37. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, Tinubu is God's own choice for Nigeria. Akpabio is coming from one of the headlines as well. Election is over. Time to support President-elect Tinubu, says Gambari. Well, again, it seems that as the United Nations, continue to tell us about human rights, Article 1, I am born free and equal, and all human beings should be treated in the same way. Well, there's been a response from Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, government in exile of the Biafra. You will continue to be hypocritically in everything until you recognize that Biafrans are human and desire the same right, the same human right. Anthony Guterres. We have notified the UN of the impediment danger in Nigeria. You can't continue to pretend you are playing politics until we face with another Sudan. So that is coming from Simon Ekpa. So we're going to go straight to the social media, as we spend a lot of time already on the news headline this morning, looking into, the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as that will be the next focus in the next couple of weeks as well. Yes, Shehu Kuti, as we do know right now, has attended, a visit to the commissioner in Lagos State earlier today, was arrested, handcuffed, and taken to the SCID Infantry by police officer, apparently for further investigation and possible detention over his altercation with the police. Let me explain what happened. Maybe I don't know whether you were able to see the video. Shehu Kuti actually slapped a police officer over the weekend. He actually says he has a reason for that, because his life and his family was under a threat. The video has traveled around the world. The IG have asked for him to be picked up, but he has actually visited himself, the police commissioner, where he says he will be helping them, with the inquiries and, what is going to be happening. Femi Falana, his lawyer, has also spoken as well. So that is the news that has traveled over the weekend. And as a lot of Nigerians are divided about this, some say, well, is the slap a big one or a small one? How do we determine the kind of slap? Some have also asked that, police are not, meant to be, the opinion has been very, very divided. Some disagree that shouldn't have happened, regardless of what has happened. While some remind us that there are so many injustices that the police have done that nothing has been done up to date. One was December 25th, when the woman that was twins, she carried a twin baby, was shot directly by the Nigerian police. On the 25th of December, Bolanle Rahim. We also remember that in Ojota, one of our young boy was shot there during the Yoruba mega rally. Up to date, no police officer have been arrested. Nobody has even been taking responsibility, for that death. In 2021, when we had the rally again in July 3rd, Jumoke Oyeleke was shot there by the Nigerian police. So we have to wait and see what is going to be the outcome. But again, according to the SP Benjamin, they probably want to use him as a scapegoat, because I can see his picture here in handcuff. Let's remind that he's also the son of Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Some even say that his grandmother was killed by the unknown soldier. Till date, nobody has given us anybody to be charged for such as well. But again, some disagree that he shouldn't have done what he has done. But again, Nigerians is already divided, as we do know, but we have to wait to see the outcome of what this is going to be like, in the next couple of days. And right there is Shehu Kuti, the son of Fela Anikulapo Kuti, that is currently now in the, detention, where information will continue as we will have it. We will continue to update us as we have it. So let's see what the police is saying regarding his arrest. According to the Benjamin Udonye, serious assault on police officer Shehu Kuti turned selves in. Afrobeat musician Shehu Kuti, in the early hours of today, found himself at the Lagos State Police Command Headquarters, Ikeja, in company of his lawyer and family representative. He has been placed under arrest in line with the law. The command appreciates the public for their concern and assure that there will be ongoing investigation, will be detailed, transparent, professional, pursue, and justice will be manifestly served for all. If he gets, guilty of this, he might be looking at about 3 years in the prison. But we will have to wait to see what is going to be the outcome. Some are even asking, why the handcuff? And the police have also responded, because the law empowers us to place handcuff on any suspect who has shown propensity for violence and propensity for evading justice. So that is how far we can go this morning. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. This is Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Kwake in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we're bringing you updates from Nigeria. But, Olayomi, yeah, okay, that's an interaction between Olayomi and Aziz. I hope you guys are doing good there. Well, someone is asking me the question, the rule of law. I mean, because of the rule of law, you're not supposed to maybe hit the police officer because he's a police officer when he has the uniform on. But the question is, I mean, respect is earned. So if they didn't do the right thing, then the person also is trying to say that I need to stand up for my right, and therefore will go on to do so. So as well. Olakunle says, good morning, Starr Radio UK. Yes, Koiki Media, Archie, and the fans. Olakunle, good morning to you as well. Okay, Yomi, before you go.
Well, that's how far we can go. We hope tomorrow everything goes as smooth, and then we can crack on again. But for now, we'll leave you with the hands of, the great Archie to take you through the rest of the program. I'll be back again tomorrow. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London as we continue to monitor the news from different parts of the globe. But most importantly, we are now 14 days before the election. We'll then finally go into a closure. That is if everything goes as planned. I'll be giving more updates on that on our Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Starr Radio UK on Twitter. Bye for now.
Okay, bye. Well, listen, that has been Mr. Olayomi Kwake bringing you updates from Nigeria. My sincere apologies for the interruptions, the technical errors that we're having in the broadcast, but it will be sorted out as the technical team are still working seriously on it. Mama Olayomi, thank you very much for joining us once again. Okay, now and Olakunle says good morning, ma. Okay, yeah, referring to Mama Olayomi there as well. All right, then, listeners, let us now enjoy some music, and I will be back with you. Stay tuned. This one is from, interestingly, I selected the music from some police group. Let's see what they are saying there as well. It says, back to my roots. Maybe take them back to the barracks, right? Okay, enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
It's gonna be a thing. And when I was in the party, I was disappointed. And all we could get was the crocodile. All we could get was the shooby. Yeah. And the music they played was not good for the rise of mine. Was not good for the needs of mine. Good for. I'm going back rocking. And when I was in, saying it's gone, I walking. Saying it's gone, all we could take was a cracker. All we could take was a sugar. Yeah.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. Hi guys! With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate that you need, rather put your signature on life. Your signature.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are sure? Well, Lamb Shippers prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 074-9shippers11820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@worldlamp@gmail.com. World Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy at World Lamp.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Welcome back to the program. I sincerely apologize to our listeners and viewers for the transmission issue that we were having when we brought Mr. Olayomi Koiki on. But it is Star Radio UK. The technical team are working on it, giving me a signal that they're going to be doing their best to make sure that we get everything the way we want. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial at all. It is Star Radio UK. Let's continue with some of the stories that are making the rounds across the globe, as we have done. And to all of you who have one way or the other shared your take on some of the issues that was being discussed, I want to say thank you very much for sharing your take with us. It is all coming your way from Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The Monday edition of the morning show, of course. So wherever you are, keep your dial still logged on Star Radio UK. All right, now moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. So in other parts of Africa as well, as we celebrate our sister Hilda Bassi, who has broken the Guinness World Record for longest cooking time. Yes, in Libya, forces have been deployed in Western City due to some fighting that has been going on. A Libyan interposition force deployed in the country Western city of Zawiya after battles between armed groups left 3 people dead. Now, rival factions in the city had been fighting on and off for weeks before the ceasefire deal. A spokesperson of the Defense and Security Council said on Sunday mediation efforts had been spearheaded by notables and community leaders. Now, several points were agreed on. Several points were agreed on. Now, most importantly, it was agreed to deploy forces from the Security Committee in the place of a conflict to be a separation force and to guarantee the ceasefire agreement. Akram Dua, the spokesperson of the Defense and Security Council, the Joint Operation Room, detailed, had said. Okay, now moving on to some other stories making the rounds. In Guinea-Bissau, Prime Minister kicks off electoral campaign, and the story said the Prime Minister of Guinea-Bissau, Nuno Gome Nabiam, kicked off on Saturday the electoral campaign for the June 4 legislative election. Nuno Gome Nabiam is campaigning for his party, Assembly of the United People, Democratic Party of Guinea-Bissau. Now, in a quote, he said, we can't have incendiary speeches. That doesn't help. These speeches bring problems, and it is the country that suffers. Nuno, don't count on me to create confusion. I'm not here for that. I have the capacity to do other things. If not in politics, I will do other work. We have to moderate our way of being and doing politics, said the Prime Minister, referring to the issue of security and stability in Guinea-Bissau. On the 1st of February 2022, an attack against the government palace, where a meeting of the Council of Ministers was taking place with the presence of members of the executive and the Guinean President Umaru Sissoco Embalo, resulted in more than 1,000 fatalities and was considered by the authorities as an attempted coup. Well, he said that he's not going to be going around insinuating and ramping up things that will be tantamount to creating unstable situation in that part of the world. So are his opponents going to also succumb to that or see to do the same thing? Well, let's see what is going to happen there. So come your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on finally, before we go to Ghana, Sudanese continue to flee the country as fighting enters its fifth week. As fighting in Sudan entered the fifth week, airstrikes pummeled Khartoum on Saturday, even as representatives of the country warring factions continued meeting in Saudi Arabia for talks to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. Meanwhile, Sudanese continue to flee the ongoing fighting between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces. At the Agreen border with the neighboring Egypt, new families arrive every day, making a 1,000-kilometer journey from Khartoum through the desert in search of safety. But not everyone has the financial means to be able to leave. The bus ride costs $250 a person, and then there's the official tariff on both sides of the crossing and rental of a place to live in Egypt. Not everyone can afford this. It's a large expense, said evacuee Wahad Ghaffar Ibrahim. So what do? We have people fighting this way and the ordinary person actually struggling. But it is your Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're rushing through so that the technical team can take over and sort out what was going on, so we can get every connectivity working the way it's supposed to. So wherever you are, don't you go away. Now, last Saturday, the NDC, the biggest opposition party in Ghana, had their primaries. Now, interestingly, there was one of the candidates who decided, now, you know what, let me just dish out the money. So she wasn't putting the money in an envelope to be given to people, but this around, just dishing it out the way, like spreading it, right? Okay. But the special prosecutor is inviting the NDC's Juliana Kenan Wasan for spraying cash on delegates. Well, maybe the person can take their cash and will not vote for them, but the special prosecutor has invited the NDC parliamentary contestant for Ejura Sechiredumasi Juliana Kenan Wasan over cash spraying on delegates during last weekend's party primaries. Now, she is also to report to the special prosecutor's office on Thursday to answer questions on suspected corruption during an election. The OSP considers you as a person necessary for investigation. You are directed to attend the office of the special prosecutor at 6 Haile Selassie Avenue, South Ridge, Accra, on Thursday, May 18, 2023 at 10 a.m. for interviewing. A portion of a letter from the SP, that is Special Prosecutor, to Juliana reads. Meanwhile, the police service have also indicated that they are studying the viral video in which Madame Juliana Kenan Wasan is seen spraying money at a crowd during the election at Ejura Sechiredumasi in the Ashanti region. Now, she wasn't giving the money like in an envelope, especially saying that, but she took the money. I've not seen the video though, but if she's just doing it like that, you take it. She's not saying that take my money and go vote for me. Has she? Well, what about those who actually go around, envelopes and upon envelopes and pay the fares of people to come in and all that sort, and then they end up what? Losing even the election. They don't get the votes that they were even depending on, those that they were giving the money directly. So if she's done that openly, she's not done anything. She's just sharing the love, sharing the money. What do you think about all that? Well. There are other issues that are serious that a special prosecutor can be seen to. So I don't think this is something that he has to waste the scarce resources of the country in investigating. If you think otherwise, let me know what you think. So I'll come your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. However, the former president Mahama and so the flag bearer of the NDC. Former President John Mahama has once again been elected to lead the opposition National Democratic Congress to the 2024 general elections following his landslide victory at the just ended primaries of the party. Mr. Mahama failed in attempts in 2016 and 2020 election to become president. The NDC primaries held on Saturday, May 13, 2023 saw Mr. Mahama sweeping 297,603, that is 98.9% of the total valid votes, to emerge as the flag bearer elect of the NDC. The Electoral Commission's Director of Electoral Services, Dr. Asiribo Kwaku, made the declaration at the party's headquarters in Accra in the early hours of Sunday. His only contender, Kojo Bonsu, secured 3,181. That's 1.1. This after former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Duffuor pulled out of the race over unresolved discrepancies with the party voters album. The campaign team of Mahama was confident that the former president would secure 99.9% of the votes in the primaries. But well, we saw him secure 98.9, so very close. But so the other bit, how did you think that maybe he would have performed if the former finance minister and former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, had contested? He decided to back out of it, and then, well, Mahama had that. Will he have been a strong contender? I remember my colleague, Mr. Frank Davis, saying on air that no, there's no way that he could garner enough votes to outwit former President Mahama. So let's see what is happening. Do you think that he is, or he will be, the best candidate to actually level up or take the helm or take the lead or beat the MPP, that is a ruling government, when it comes to the 2024 general elections? What do you think? Let me hear from you. It is all from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Also, Felix Kwachi Ofosu has been elected NDC candidate for the AAK, that's Abra Asebu Kwaman Kese constituency to the 2024 elections. Wow. He was the former Deputy Information Minister. This time around, he's fighting for it. And then Adamu Ramadan re-elected at Adenta. And then NDC Primary Senator wins Clote Kole. Okay? And as one say, don't vote for unemployed candidates who lacks credibility. Muntaka to delegates. The Member of Parliament for Aswase, Mohammed Muntaka, had described the contender Mubarak Masawudu as loud liar whose wild promises can be akin to the President Akufo-Addo promise he insists on. Well, and his candidate spray cash on delegates in Ejura. I mean, she was carried on as if she was, was it in a car or was it in the palanquin, whatever it is, she did that. But, well, did she win at all? That's the other question that I'm asking. It looks like she won, but is that inducement or corruption? What do you think about that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right, then. So, let's now move on to other parts of the world as the technical team are waiting to take over to sort out what is happening. Now, Turkey also went for a general election over the weekend, but Turkey's battle for the presidency looks almost certain to go to a runoff with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan set for a 4-point lead in the first round. After 20 years in power, he stood on the balcony of his party's headquarters saying he was convinced he will win 5 more. Opposition challenger Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu also claimed to have victory in his grasp. Everything appeared to have fallen into place for the first round success, but incomplete results give him around 45%, with Erdogan on more than 49% of the vote. Now, candidates need more than 50% to win in the first round. Mr. Erdogan has an added boost as he seeks to extend his presidency. His People's Alliance of parties has also won a majority in parliament, according to preliminary figures provided by the state's news agency. Now, 4 months, Turkey's desperate opposition party had pooled their resources in a bid to bring an end to a president who has extended his power dramatically since a failed coup against him in 2016. The election is being watched very closely in the West because Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu has promised to revive Turkish democracy as well as relations with its NATO allies. On the other hand, President Erdogan, Islamist-rooted government, has accused the West of plotting to bring him down. In the early hours of Monday, Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu stood on a stage at his party headquarters in Ankara, flanked by his allies, doing his best to sound upbeat. If our nation says second round, we will absolutely win in the second round, he said. Is that what it's going to be? I know they are trying to. There is a third force that everybody will try to appeal to. And would the third force go to Erdogan or to this opposition leader? That will be following very closely, and be telling you more about that as the days, which is going to be taking place in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll be bringing that your way as we continue. Okay, and then in Cambodia, so opposition candlelight party barred from July votes. Cambodia's main opposition party and the sole credible challenger to the country's long-time leader Hun Sen has been barred from contesting July's election. The electoral authorities disqualified the candlelight party on Monday for not having the right paperwork. This one is like African politics, right? Yeah. Now, party insiders have warned for weeks they were being stymied by red tape. Now, critics say with this move, Hun Sen has again eliminated any real challenge for the second election in a row. In 2018, his Cambodia People's Party won every single seat in the 125-seat National Assembly after the main opposition alliance was dissolved by political controlled courts. The Candlelight Party formed from the ashes of the dissolved opposition. The fledgling alliance formed a year ago and received just 22% of the vote in local commune election last year, but still represented the most credible challenge to Hun Sen, who has ruled since 1980. You got it? 5. Ha! Well. More stories coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But in Thailand, the Thai elections, the voters have delivered a stunning blow to army-backed rule. Thai voters have delivered a stunning verdict in favor of an opposition party that is calling for radical reforms of the country's institutions. Now, early results show move forward, exceeding every prediction to win 151 of the 500 seats in the lower house. It is now 10 seats ahead of what was the front runner, Pheu Thai, led by ex-Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatre's daughter. Now, analysts are calling this a political earthquake that represents a significant shift in public opinion. It is also clear repudiation of the two military aligned parties of the current government and Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, who led a coup that ousted an elected government in 2014. The governing coalition won only 15% of the seats. We didn't leave any stone unturned. Move forwards. 42-year-old leader Peter Limjaroen. Okay, just bear with me. Peter Limjaroen. Okay, said now people have had enough in the last decade. Now it's a new day. Now, Pheu Thai, the second largest party, has said it has agreed to join Move Forward and 4 smaller opposition parties giving them a coalition of more than 60% seat in the new parliament. So what is going to happen there? All eyes on Thailand as well. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So it looks like there'll be lots of elections over the weekend and coming elections as well. But well, Cyclone Mocha, Myanmar, Rakhine State declared a disaster area. Now, Myanmar's military leaders have declared Rakhine State a national disaster area after Cyclone Mocha hit on Sunday, killing at least 6 people. The cyclone was one of the strongest this century to hit the Bay of Bengal, lashing Myanmar and Bangladesh. It did not make landfall at the world's largest refugee camp at Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, despite earlier fears. However, the Category 5 storm pummeled Myanmar's coast, destroying hundreds of homes and shelters. Heavy rain, strong winds, and a storm surge were recorded across the low-lying Rakhine area, particularly in and around the state capital, Sitwe. All right, then. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Okay, a couple of stories from the UK, and then we bring the program to a close so that the technical team can take over, because we're having a bit of some technical issues in the background. Now, Zelensky has arrived in the UK for a surprise meeting with Sunak. Over the weekend, he was all over, let me call it, Europe. Okay, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is visiting the UK to meet Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. In a tweet, he said he will meet his friend, Mrs. Sunak, to hold substantive negotiations. Now, the UK announced on Thursday that it will supply Ukraine with the long-range missiles it had requested to fight the Russian invasion. Mr. Zelensky had been meeting Western leaders in recent days, seeking to bolster support for Ukraine. At the meeting, Mr. Sunak said the pair will be discussing what more we can do to support Mr. Zelensky and Ukraine. The Ukrainian leader is the first foreign dignitary to meet Mr. Sunak at Chequers, the Prime Minister's official country residence. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, Zuala Breverman says there is no good reason the UK cannot train its own lorry drivers and fruit pickers to bring immigration down. The Home Secretary will argue that it is not racist to want to control borders. In a speech later, she has previously said her ultimate aspiration is to reduce net migration, the difference between those entering and leaving the UK, to below 100,000. It is expected to hit a record 700,000 this year. Now, Ms. Breverman's speech is being seen by some as a warning shot to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to focus more on cutting immigration, although Downing Street says her words were cleared with them. Now, some senior conservatives believe more immigration is needed in the short term to boost economic growth. Now, Trade Minister Nigel Huddleston told Times Radio, every now and again, we also need more people to come into the country, but the key thing was to have control. In the long term, we need immigration to come down because that's what has been causing some challenges in local areas for a long period of time. He added, the horticulture industry has suffered labor shortages since the UK left the EU, which was made worse by the pandemic. A campaign to recruit more UK-based workers for seasonal farm roles was scrapped in 2021 after a relatively small number of people signed up to it. Now, speaking later at the conference organized by a US-based right-wing campaign group in London, Ms. Breverman will say we must not forget how to do things for ourselves. There is no good reason why we can't train up enough HGV drivers, butchers, or fruit pickers. However, visa rules have been relaxed or adjusted in some sectors in recent years to tackle worker shortages. The government also has increased this year's temporary visa for seasonal agricultural workers by 15,000. These visas are not included in the official net migration figure. And this is where I have to bring the program to a close so that the technical team can take over and sort out what is going on. But let me bring you this song as a sign off from the Zongo man himself, and he says the problem of Africa. Enjoy it, and I'll see you all tomorrow, God willing. But this afternoon, there's going to be lots of music, and tonight we'll be having Dave West also joining in to bring you the Conscious Reggae Time. Until I see you then, bye bye for now.
The problem of Africa is the elite. Who run things, who run things, who run things. The problem of Africa